my mother had read that in China, they discipline their kids by kneeling on rice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she said, you can kneel on rice for 10 minutes or we take a break and you get the rest of these licks.
Dang,
And
that's commitment to the licks.
And Raina was like, I'll take the rice. I'll take the rice. And I was like, I just knew. I was like,
if only I knew that I should have just got the rest of the licks.
Like you could have been finished.
Yeah.
How about your mother researching Asian punishment? Right. You know, I mean, it's like
Asian
that.
torture.
A teacher.
Right. She's like, let me find some
How could
real
I
good stuff. The
punish
licks
better?
don't work. Right. This episode is brought to you by Theraflu.
Hey, little girl.
Craig Robinson, what's happening with you? I like your sinks. I have those.
You have these?
Yeah, I do.
11s in black?
No, not the same. But I have that style, that high top patent
No,
leather.
11s are what they are, not the size.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I don't know what
Poor
things
thing.
are called.
Yeah, I see that.
It's like, no, I don't wear an 11.
Especially not a men's 11. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
What's going on?
Excited that to be here.
Yes.
Excited with our guests that we will introduce at some point.
I know, we got to have some LA flavor for a change.
I know, it's really good. I got a whole lot of LA questions because
too.
LA is a mystery to me. You
Yeah.
know, it's always like, what does it mean to grow up here? But anyway, we'll get into that. But I'm happy that you're here, that we are together.
We are.
And you are enjoying, but we haven't had dinner yet. I don't know. We got a busy schedule, so I don't even know if we'll
may
get a
not have
chance
time.
to even chill for a bit.
Yeah, I might have to whip something up at my Airbnb.
Right. I don't. What do you think you're gonna cook?
I don't know. I might have to go shopping and get some groceries so
you
I
can't even say that with a straight face. Like, look at you.
But if I wanted to,
you're not
I
gonna
could
leave here right now and go to the grocery store.
Because it's late, but I might do that before we leave.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so is it a good high-end kitchen in the place that you're staying? Is it a chef's kitchen kind of situation?
No, it's not a chef's kitchen. It's a regular kitchen, but it's got everything you need. And these trips, it's really hard because we put in a lot of time during the day to do a meal at night. But Aaron and I are enjoying the weather here, and we're staying up later. So maybe I'll whip something up.
Well, anyway.
We're so excited for our guest here.
We've got
siblings,
famous siblings who have done everything all over the place. I love these two.
And for a long time.
Yeah, Reina and Regina King.
Yes.
Sisters who are, own Hollywood, own the industry, killing it on so many levels.
Yeah, well, let me give them a proper introduction. Regina King is an Academy Award-winning actress and a director with a 40-year career, widely regarded as one of Hollywood's most versatile and dynamic creators. She is also the founder of Me and You, a wine label established in honor of her son, Ian. Reina King is an actress and producer who has worked in entertainment for decades, both in front of and behind the camera. As an actress, her credits include Scrooged and Shirley. Regina and Reina are sisters and co-founders of the production company Royal Ties, a company recognized for developing projects across genres with depth, range, and cultural relevance.
All right.
So without further ado, Regina and Reina King.
Come on into the IMO scene. How y'all? Hey.
Hands up. You're supposed to cue the beep.
Okay, we gotta get one of those, y'all.
Oh, especially with this basketball height.
Y'all so short. short.
I know. That's what people say when they meet us. So can
Make
you
feel tall.
put some heels
See,
on?
you can't tell how tall we are when we're sitting.
We have short torsos, lots of legs.
You
so.
really, yes.
Yeah.
But she actually has a short,
I have a short torso and
longer
long
legs.
legs, but long short legs.
They're long in relation to other things.
Right.
Well, you guys, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank
really,
you for
truly,
having us. How y'all liking LA?
Oh man, why don't I live here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't you want
You
some of that
should.
vitamin D in your life?
I know.
Man.
Gotta have that vitamin D.
It's
I
like-
mean, you heard me say, we spend a lot of time in LA. We record IMO here. Our daughters live here. Our Higher Ground productions are here. But it seems like everybody we meet are transplants. I mean, rarely do I meet people from LA. And I'm trying to get a sense. I'm still trying to get a sense of this city. Talk about what was it like? What is it like to grow up in LA? I mean, is it all Hollywood palm trees and
No.
Well, I also feel like, there's LA is so big.
Yes.
It is.
Huge.
Yeah.
So like when you talk about LA County, you have people that grew up in Santa Monica and that's their whole life. And that's a whole different lifestyle than from us that grew up in Windsor Hills. That, Windsor Hills and Baldwin Hills, that's all adjacent. So that all of those kids, all of those people have a similar lifestyle, and you grew up and you heard the stories about Ray Charles lives over here, and Ike and Tina Turner.
Socialize with people in Ladera.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about, it sounded like the Windsor, what is
Windsor Hills.
Windsor Hills, multi-income, mostly African-American. What was the vibe of your
I don't know what it
neighborhood?
is now. It's probably
But
not
what was
mostly African-American now.
Well, nothing. It's been gentrified.
Well, the people that lived in the house that we grew up in when you were doing the
I
location
don't know.
scouting.
I went and knocked on the door. They didn't answer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what
they
don't know
are.
what race they are, but I would say middle class and upper middle class.
Yeah, we grew up predominantly Black.
Yeah.
There might have been one white woman on our street at the end of the block.
You gotta tell that story.
Really.
I mean, come on.
Well, you didn't see her much.
Well, did you know her name? Was it
No.
Mrs. Such and Such?
No,
You didn't even know
no,
her
You
her
name.
didn't say, you
What
didn't call
was
us
the
name. It was
lady?
I
like
don't
the
know,
Shuki
remember her
House
name.
or something, was it?
In my mind, I keep thinking Miss Gert, but Miss Gert was
No, Miss Gert was my
Black.
babysitter.
But your babysitter.
Yeah.
What was she older?
She
white
was an
woman?
older woman,
Mhm,
But she didn't talk or interact much unless somebody was on her
On her
grass.
lawn.
On her
Oh,
lawn.
no.
On her lawn.
Get off my lawn.
We just
I'll
trying
call
to
your
play.
mother.
We just
That's
trying to
all.
play.
Our ball just rolled up here. We had to get it. We had to get it. Was it working class? I mean, did you know your neighbors? Did you grow up playing on the
Definitely.
streets?
We
And
did.
We had a lot of kids on our street. And what happened to that? Kids don't go outside and play.
Yeah.
There's no, when's the last time you saw a kid with a cast on their arm?
That's right. That's a good point.
You know what I
That's a
mean?
good point.
Like,
Everybody's all
That's-
vacuum
yeah.
sealed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, we're scared of the outside. I mean, I remember when we were in Chicago, the girls growing up, we did grow up in a neighborhood where there were a lot of kids, but it is true, nobody was just letting their kids go out to play.
Right.
So I found that our girls didn't know the basic outdoor play games, like how to jump double dutch. Right. So me and my friends, one day we decided these little Black girls, they have to know how to jump double dutch. But so we organized, this is what mothers do, because how you learned how to jump double dutch is that you got your rope, you went outside, you found somebody to turn, and a game happened. Right.
Yes.
But the girls didn't even know where to begin. So we did it, the mothers. And then we realized, well, in
That's
order
why
to play
people aren't doing stuff, because the
double dutch.
mothers are doing it.
Well, the
That's
plan,
it.
Anything
the
that the
plan
mothers
was to teach them so that they'd go outside.
Okay.
But
Right.
the challenge, did you all jump double dutch growing up?
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
The key to double dutch is that you have to have two people that can turn.
Yes,
And that's why we
right.
probably didn't do it as often.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think everyone
Yeah.
on our block of the girls.
Or even at school.
Yeah.
Because we played
Mhm.
played double dutch jump double dutch, play double dutch,
Mhm.
jump
Yeah.
double dutch at school. And, certain people like, oh, I can't stand when she turns.
I know. We called it, she's double-handed. Now, I don't know what that meant, but yeah, girl, you double-handed.
It means you can't turn.
Because you
Yeah.
can't turn.
Yeah.
Like not
Mhm.
being on beat.
That's
Or
right.
did you guys
That's
ever
right.
have the super long rope that someone would wrap it around their back?
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
remember?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's when you knew she could
She
turn.
know how to
She knew
turn.
what to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I read where you all put on your own little shows.
Mhm.
Nobody's
Mom,
doing that
there's
either.
a fly in my suit.
What's that?
Excuse me, there's a fly in my suit. We have this book of plays
Yeah, and we used to put them on. And
in the
yeah,
living room, right in front of the furniture that we weren't supposed to sit on.
that we would sit on when mom wasn't home.
Yeah.
That's right.
Did it have plastic on it?
They did not.
No.
But she
Okay.
had a best friend that had a lot of
Plastic.
plastic
Yeah.
on a blue couch. And she had blue, for Christmas, she had a blue, it used to kind of freak me out. Remember
The
the Christmas,
tree.
the blue Christmas paper and, oh my God.
Just a lot of blue.
Flocked.
Yeah, flock tree.
Woo!
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It was a bit much. It was
Yeah.
a bit much. I just remember those summertime sliding on that plastic.
Or
having
sticking
it-
it.
Or sticking
right.
to the plastic.
Or the plastic will wear out and there'd be a slit in
Crack.
it
Slit
and
in
it
the
would
crack.
cut you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, now this couch is dangerous. It's clean,
It's
but
clean.
it's
Oh,
deadly.
dangerous.
It's
Yeah.
deadly.
I don't want to go over
That's
that
right.
house.
I don't want to go
Sitting on the
there.
couch.
And how old were you then? Because I'm trying to figure out
Yes.
how early you all thought y'all
Probably-
were going to be actors.
I don't think we really thought that we were going to be actors. It was like you can act like you're somebody else. You can be something else. And we had been doing it all the time at home.
We've been
Like,
doing it, and I mean the roller skating, and someone saw us,
Yeah.
and asked us if we would
Tell the story, Raina.
Yeah, what do you mean
Please
roller
do.
skating and
So
somebody asked
our,
you?
Our
We were at our
moms-
mom's friends with the
mom-
blue couch.
the moms-
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
And the,
Uh-huh.
and
Shout
the
out to
Christmas
Tommy.
tree.
All right. We love your couch.
And we were at her house. We were roller skating, and this woman saw us that lived up the street, and that ended up being Todd Bridges' mom,
Oh.
and said, they should join, my acting class, and that's kind of how it started. I don't even think I
Well,
know.
no, Raina's first she was like, was talking to us and, stranger danger.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
would
Raina was
imagine.
like,
It's like, where are you coming up to us?
and then she told us to go get our mom. And Raina was like, Mom, this lady outside want to talk to you.
She had to give it all its details of the moment.
Thank you, Regina.
To keep it all the way real.
That's right.
And
See, so that's what you think about LA, It's like you could be roller skating in your little matching outfits and all of a sudden,
You're on a
You're an actor.
You're
Yeah.
you're
is
an
that
atmosphere.
see, that's what
Yeah.
the kids on South Side of Chicago think happens when
Right.
you grow
LA.
up in the
No.
hood in LA.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, well, that's how you become a part of the Brady Bunch. You got to live in LA. So what was going on with school at the time? I mean, were you still in
We
school?
were still in public school.
Right,
So
right.
like basically you have a set teacher.
Yeah.
And our mom was like both studios wanted our mother to put us in
studio school.
Well, you go to studio school when you're shooting.
Okay.
But
Yes.
they want you to enroll in like a small school that's
almost like homeschool, but
that is familiar with this type of
industry,
Yeah.
entertainment,
Yeah.
homeschool.
Right.
Yeah,
And
no.
mom was like,
Mhm.
absolutely not.
Uh-huh.
So if you want these girls, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And we both ended up having really great teachers. And Kathy Cyrus was just absolutely
Yours is
amazing.
great.
And I wanted to take French. She started learning French. In the correspondence, she went up to the school to meet all of my teachers because by then I was in high school.
Yeah.
And then when the season was over, be back at
And you were like
school.
ahead of the class.
Oh
because
yeah.
you'd had-
So I was causing havoc
Right.
when I got back to
Right.
school.
It's like, I know it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it feel coming out of that world, being on TV, and then going back into a normal high school life? Were you guys recognized? Were you known as being those girls that,
Yeah,
were
I think
acting
people
and
just
out
knew
there?
that that's what we did done because I don't know how it is in Chicago, but you go to schools that are connected to your area.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you know, all of those kids I went to junior high school with. Part of them I went to elementary school with.
Mhm.
So they had been seeing us
wasn't
doing
new.
background work.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't new.
Yeah.
So
they weren't tripping.
No.
It was
Yeah.
the opposite.
Yeah.
It's literally the opposite. Like you couldn't wait to get back to
Mhm.
kind of the
Sure.
public school, that kind of friend group. It was much harder for me on what's happening now because I was the only child on the show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there were no
Yeah.
siblings, there were no people in the building.
Right.
So it was just me and the set teacher.
yeah.
So we used to bump heads.
Right. Okay,
It got a
what's the
little tough.
story? Who had to get called? Who told off who?
Yeah, my mom got called a couple of times. But I think I was, because it's just me and this one adult, and there's no other person to kind of bounce anything off of. So I found myself like challenging her.
Yeah.
I learned a little French too. That was but so that was tough. So for me, it was a big yearning to get back
Yeah.
to school where there are more kids. Like any show where there may have been 2 or 3 other kids, it's like,
Let me
there's
go
gonna
to
be
that
4
one.
people.
Right. Oh, wow.
And on set today with the set teacher. So I was really excited to get back to the regular swing of things. And I was coming back further ahead than, because it was 5th grade for me, because I was 10. And I was further ahead than where they were.
10.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you guys are
10
4
and
years
14,
apart.
yeah.
4 years apart.
Have you always been close?
Yeah,
all right.
Okay. Were we in sync
It's like
there?
now we're like,
That was right on time.
I think we've always been close, but it took me, when I moved out the house, when our relationship started becoming like my other half. But I think we've always been close. Like, I could talk about my sister, but you can't talk about my sister. You know, like that's always been, and we always played together. Remember we used to play Mel's Diner in the backyard?
Oh my
And with
God.
the mud pies.
Mel's.
Yeah. Kiss my crib.
Absolutely. But there was because I was younger that, you know, she didn't want me around.
Yes.
Or, you know, I'm getting on her nerves. I
Yeah.
wish she would just go back, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere, you know.
And keeping up. Keeping up. I mean, this is the younger sibling, and I see it
Absolutely.
with our 2 daughters. It was like Millie and Sasha are 3 years apart. They've always been close, but that 3-year difference feels like a chasm
Yeah.
until you're older. But Sasha, like me, I was always going to keep up. You know,
Yeah.
you were
But
not
I-
leaving me behind.
You're not leaving me behind.
I was inclusive with her.
Okay.
It wasn't like, oh no, you can't come with me. I was like, well, come on then. Let's
Yeah.
go. And it would be, we were playing baseball, we were playing running bases, hide and seek, whatever it was.
Mhm.
If she wanted to go, she could come.
But do you think part of that is because you guys are brother and sister opposed to...
I do think
yeah.
that
Absolutely.
dynamic
Yeah.
Absolutely.
is
Yeah.
different. There's just, because our spaces could be separate. Like I could come along, but I didn't always want to come along because it was like, okay, it's a bunch of crusty boys. Maybe I want to play with my dolls over here.
Right.
But with my daughters, it was like they were pretty much on par in terms of what their interests were, and the friend group of girls, you know, they were just all running as a pack. And so little sister was gonna, you know, it's like, I
Make her
can do
way.
this. So in that respect, I think Sasha grew up faster
Mm.
just
Yeah.
by keeping up.
Yep.
You know, she had to, even though she wasn't there yet, she was going to be there.
Yes.
And without the emotional tools, you know, necessarily, right?
But I think you're literally explaining our dynamic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Reina grew up faster.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Like, she knew she was grown.
And then, I was able to spread my wings with that more when she wasn't around.
Yes.
So by the time I got to high school, I was like,
It's like you can't tell me anything.
These youngins don't know.
Yeah,
These other 15-year-olds, they don't.
I've been around the block.
I've been around the block.
These children, oh my God.
I'm 15 with the mind of an 18-year-old.
I've seen some things. Bring me a drink.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious.
That's good.
I have been traveling a ton between my IMO recordings and my day job at the National Association of Basketball Coaches, as well as my kids' teams. This travel has afforded me the opportunity to visit some new places and meet some new people. And last year's travel was so good, I've actually been able to enjoy my time on the road. That's because I've been booking stays on Airbnb. You've heard me talk about how much I love that I get to stay in a real neighborhood. This helps me feel at home and settled, in addition to being able to explore my surroundings. And during these trips, it clicked for me. My place is just sitting there, empty. Meanwhile, someone else could be getting that exact same sense of ease and connection from my home that I just got from theirs, and I'd be making a little extra money without lifting a finger. I'd never really thought about hosting in that way. It's not a big production. It's simply opening your door to someone who wants a meaningful stay while your home quietly works for you. And if you live in a city people are always trying to visit or have to travel to for work, trust me, there are folks out there looking for a space that feels warm, familiar, and lived in. Your home might be that place, and it might be worth more than you think. Find out at airbnb.com/host. This episode of IMO is brought to you by Theraflu. Theraflu, makers of fast-acting cold and flu relief, believes everyone deserves the right to rest and recover when they're sick, no matter where they live or how much money they make. When I was coaching, if I got sick, I found it hard to choose between taking time for myself to rest and heal and showing up for my family and my team. Luckily, I had the ability to take paid sick time when I really needed it, but not every American has that option. In 2021, Theraflu launched the Rest and Recover Fund, and they've committed more than $1 million to provide micro grants to families and individuals, helping offset the cost of taking a sick day for those that don't have coverage. Everyone should be able to prioritize their health without risking their ability to put food on the table. That's why Theraflu is committed to keep fighting, because rest and recovery is a right, not a privilege. Learn more or help someone apply for the fund at theraflu.com/right to recover. This episode of IMO is brought to you by Indeed. You know, I've been thinking a lot about careers lately, especially in a job market like this. One thing I've learned is that you really have to think outside the box when it comes to your path. Nothing about my own journey has been linear. I've made pivots, followed my curiosities, leaned into the strengths and skills I had at the time. And somehow, all of that kept opening doors I never would have pictured for myself. And honestly, being willing to evolve made my whole career feel more dynamic and rewarding. The roles I ended up loving weren't always the ones I initially imagined. They were the ones that aligned with who I was becoming. But let's be real. The process of finding those roles, it can feel like a second job. I remember stretches where searching, applying, waiting, it was exhausting. That's why I love what Indeed is doing with Career Scout. It's designed to make the whole process faster, easier, and a lot more intentional. Career Scout actually looks at your skills and interests and sources opportunities you might not have even realized were a fit. It's like having your own career coach working behind the scenes, helping tailor your resume, matching you to roles that align with your strengths, even supporting you with interview prep. It takes something that can feel overwhelming and makes it manageable. And honestly, if I had Career Scout earlier in my career, it would have saved me so much time and helped me tap into my strengths more quickly. It's a game changer when you're ready for that next step. Indeed's mission is to empower people to use their skills to find better work, and Career Scout is their latest innovation to help you do that. The future of job searching is here, and it's called Indeed Career Scout. Try it today in the Indeed app.
So when did it click? Did it, because there's also the shadow of the older one, right? Because I would also tell Malia, right, you grew up unshadowed, right? You grew up and everything you did because you were performing for us was wonderful. And it's like, wow, say more. Oh, look at what you've done. That's so smart. You can read now, right? Well, the younger sister has the older sister going, you can't read yet?
Right.
It's like, that's not how you say that.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me just do it.
Let me just do it. Let me, And so I would have to explain to her, do not step on my other child. I love you both, but you cannot try to parent her because you don't know what you're doing. You are just,
you are not
7.
grown. Yeah.
You're 7.
Right.
You don't know what's happening. But I saw Sasha come into her own as Malia, moved on.
Right.
So it was like that tree, moved away. And so the light got to the younger one. Did you feel that way,
I
Reina?
think so. Yeah, I definitely. It was when she moved out. I mean, it really was. That was. I'm running this house now. I've got. It was. I definitely did come into my own. I felt like I had the space and not thinking about it then, but things that I actually had learned from her. And now I can exercise that in my own world, amongst my own group of friends.
Without somebody judging
Without
it.
someone
going, that's
or
not
like
how you do it.
Yeah, that's not how you do it. Exactly. The idea when she moved out and then she also, her apartment became kind of a
haven,
safe space.
Okay.
That was then on this next level, still learning and maturing and still able to experience it with her. So yeah, that's, and she had a car.
Yeah, that's
I mean, there were
that's
little
useful.
perks there,
Right?
Because she moved out pretty young. She moved out at 17.
Okay. Talk about that. What precipitated the move?
I was
young.
ready.
Yeah,
She
I
was
was
she
ready.
wasn't watching nobody, no more
Dishes.
anybody else's dishes.
Well,
that
yeah,
she didn't use.
I was. That's. I mean, quite
That's-
literally.
that was-
Like
those
I'd
are
be
my
out
parting
all
words.
day doing my own thing, and then come back home, and I got to wash their dishes.
Yeah. I said,
So,
and you had an income from
and
your
exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah, that you
exactly.
could afford to.
Yeah. So I was like, so Mom, I'm moving out. I'm getting a tattoo.
Oh.
Those you
Two
did that.
things.
I mean, it's like that.
It was like,
Regina.
yeah.
Just blam, boom,
Because
bam,
she'd been
boom.
saying no tattoo, no
Oh,
tattoo. I don't know
man.
why you want to mark pretty skin, no tattoo. And I'd graduated high school,
So how did that conversation go over? What did Mom say? And were you in the other room, Reina, listening?
I'm sure I was close
Close by.
by.
No, yeah.
I'm sure.
Raina's always close by.
Wow.
I don't ever remember any pushback because I really did not want to go to college. And I applied because my mom's a teacher and that just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
That was happening.
And
Right.
I got in. So there was nothing, I'm working. I'm going to USC.
Yeah.
I don't want to wash dishes.
Yeah.
Why should I have to wash dishes? And she was like, all right.
And she couldn't really have that conversation. How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to pay your bills?
Right. It's
Well,
like,
I actually
with the
can do
income
that.
I
Yeah.
earned.
So
Then 227 was canceled.
Ooh. Regina, who apologizes more, you or her, when you all get into it?
I'm just going to keep looking at you.
You think you apologize more?
Hmm?
You think you apologize more?
No, I don't.
You don't.
I think you apologize more.
You do?
Uh-huh.
I was actually going to say the same.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're so sensitive to each other because it's just hard to even just imagine doing anything without her. So when we know that we've disappointed each other, It's
an unspoken apology.
It's
I think that's what it's not really.
We both kind of.
I'm sorry. It's not really those words.
Right. It's the gesture. It's the
gesture.
And we do sometimes. You'll call or I'll call and be like, Raina, when I did and you'll go, oh, Regina, and vice versa.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think we had a moment like that
not too long ago. That's why I was like, why you look the other way?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it is a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance with us with so much, and so thankful to have that, because a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have heard. I mean, we talk to sisters and sister and brothers, and they don't get along with their siblings in that way. So I feel blessed to have a other half.
Yeah.
She wrote a poem about it in high school.
Oh, really? Do we have the poem? Is it still top of mind? Oh, man. Yeah.
Who has the book? I don't know.
I have the book, and didn't I bring it to you? Remember, I took a picture.
So you did a book of poems, or
my school?
Okay. And it made it into the book.
Did a book of poems, and the different students in. I'm trying to think what grade I was in. Was it 7th?
No, it was older than that. I think it was
8th?
like 9th grade. I want to say. Okay, I'm wrong. All right.
Once again, and I'm sorry.
That was quick.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
Moving on. Regina Silver's class, and it was 8th or it was 7th or 8th grade, but they had all the students do poems, and they compiled a book, and my poem was called "My Other Half," and it's still.
I still have the book.
She still. Has
she didn't know I
book,
had it,
and I didn't know she
a
had
month
me.
ago.
That's. I thought that was packed up, disappeared somewhere, like with the yearbooks that you don't want anyone to see. But I would say those words that I spoke in that poem then are very much still fitting.
Oh,
and still of the time and of the moment of what we are. So
what do you think it was that your mother did to foster it? Because, I think a lot of times sibling rivalry is coming from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's so easy to unintentionally, as a parent, pit one against the other, just because of lack of awareness, or, one child might be technically easier on that parent than the other because personalities. Parents are people too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have more than one kid, you may click in a different way with the other. And if that's the case, maybe some of that, sprinkles out.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if there's
I think
anything
it's
to
the
think
same
about.
too, when you say
Yeah.
we were going to, you may not want to, but you're going to your sister's recital or this thing. She was always making sure we were in situations that we had to do things together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in addition to always, I used to feel like Raina got away with everything. But says the lady to my right. But I feel like my mom really made sure that she treated us individually different. Like I didn't feel like I was treated like Raina, and Raina didn't feel like
she
was
saw
treated,
you both
really like
in your
our
own.
punishments were different.
you didn't have the rice punishment, did you?
What was the rice?
Oh,
Well, it was
I like to tell the story.
Okay, please.
You wanna tell
Regina,
the story?
we're calling
I
on
wanna
you
tell
now
the
for the
story.
rice story.
Yes.
Because Raina
Yes.
is probably
It
not
didn't
going to
have
tell
to
it
be
all.
rice, I guess.
Yes, that's the reason why I said Isla, because I don't want you to
I'm not throwing mom.
have some revisionist history. So, we shared a room,
Mm-hmm.
and Raina is clean, but Raina's messy.
Okay, yes.
And so we kept getting
Well, you
in
know
Here we
trouble.
are for the world.
Yes. No, I'm talking about as kids. As kids.
But
Just
you're clean.
You're clean.
You're not dirty and messy.
That's-
She said, but she's messy.
Was that a backhanded compliment? That's a backhanded compliment. And we kept getting in trouble for having a messy room,
Yeah.
and it wasn't my stuff. And I'd be like, Mom, it is not my stuff. I am cleaning it up my side. And I'm kicking, then I started kicking it to her side of the room. So you see the difference. So finally my mom was like, all right, every piece of, if you don't have this room cleaned up by whatever time it was, everything that I pick up, you getting 2 licks. Because, that's when, whoopings.
Yeah.
And it came out to like 92.
Oh, you was about to say, she didn't need to give 2 licks. It was enough clothes.
Yeah.
Lady, I'm like,
it came out.
The county was happening. I'm like, one look movement.
It came out.
When you got into the 90s,
it was like, wow.
What are we doing
like
here?
how you say, where was Raina? So I'm in the room and she's counting. I was like, whoa. Wow. Now I'm feeling bad. Like I darked on her, and now
I just got her in trouble.
And so she started proceeding with the spanking, and I guess my mom got tired. Raina got tired. My mom was like, "Okay, you can kneel." My mother had read that in China they discipline their kids by kneeling on rice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she said, "You can kneel on rice for 10 minutes, or we take a break and you get the rest of these licks."
Dag, that's commitment to the lick.
I was, and Raina was like, "I'll take the rice. I'll take the rice." And I was like, I just knew. I was like,
if only I knew that I should have just got the rest of the lick.
Like you could have been finished.
Yeah.
I might still have rice imprints in my knees.
I felt so bad for you. Oh my God. And you were
How
like,
about
I
your
can't
mother
take it.
researching Asian punishment?
Punishment.
Right. I mean, it's like
Asian
that.
torture.
A teacher.
Right. She's like, let me find some
How could I
real good stuff. The
punish
licks
better?
don't work.
Right.
Right. So was it effective? Did you clean up your mess?
Oh, yes. I did.
From then on?
I did once I could walk.
Okay,
Once
yes.
I could, I needed a minute to compose myself.
So now you all have been in this business for so long. I'd like to hear from you. What are some of your favorite projects that you've worked on? Can you say that, or is it too hard?
Oh,
okay,
no.
I want to hear that. Please say Boondocks. Please say Boondocks.
You're not
That's
supposed
just
to.
like-
as an actress or as producers or director,
Ooh.
because there's
I'd
different.
like to hear the whole gamut. Yes, I'd like to hear the whole gamut.
I always say my favorite project is the one I'm working on now, because we've been blessed to have done so much that some things I don't even remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So that it is tough to. I can tell you the things that people the most talk to me about that they've loved is Boondocks. That's like
Of course.
at the top. Watchmen.
Yeah.
That is Barack Obama's favorite.
Is it really?
It is, yes.
Oh, wow.
He loves that. Mm-hmm.
And I guess somewhere between 227 Boys in the Hood
Mm-hmm.
and then Jerry Maguire.
What about you, Raina?
It would be Scrooged.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, Richard Donner, the director, those were like, that was and Alfred Woodard, that was Carol Kane.
Quincy
it was
Jones.
It was a master class, like I said, for a very young girl. Richard Donner. So I have a thing with socks.
Okay.
I love socks, and I like new socks.
All
if
right.
I could wear a
If
new
we
pair
had
of socks
known.
365
Really?
days a year,
How many socks do you own?
I have a lot.
Okay.
I actually had to buy, order online these little square boxes that have 24 compartments, and they're stacked.
Oh.
I've got short ones, long ones, thick ones, anklets. I love taking new ones out of the package, and I got that from Richard Donner.
Oh my God.
He always had on a new pair of socks, and
Wow.
he would donate, because he would wear socks, one pair, wear a pair of socks once, and donate it. And I'm like, I just want a different.
I'm
pair
gonna
of
have a
socks.
sock collection.
Exactly. And
Yes, you didn't want cars. Raina didn't want cars.
She wanted
I want
socks.
socks.
and
Designer
it's
socks.
stuck. When I wash socks, I'll look at her and I'm like, yeah, it's just time.
Yeah. Well,
It's, if I get 3 wears out of a sock,
it's like,
That's-
no. We
You
are
toss
done.
them.
On to the next.
I find other usage,
Mhm. Yeah.
To use them like the
them.
dust.
Yeah, the
Uh-huh,
duster,
uh-huh.
dusting windowsills, rags. I actually,
That new sock smell. Nothing like it.
it's nothing like coming out of the package. That sounded,
I'm in
Not
it.
right.
Right.
but it is so right.
So when they-
you are so right.
When it arrives, you're just like,
Yes.
Exactly.
I have made it.
Exactly. So yeah, I would say as an actress would be, and To Sleep with Anger, just because Danny Glover, that was a bit of a masterclass too. And then as producer, that's hard. I would just surely only because it was something that we had been fighting to do for a decade.
January always feels like that moment to hit reset, to finally stop saying maybe one day and actually start becoming who you're meant to be. And that's why I love Shopify. If you've got a dream, whether it's a side hustle you've been sitting on or something bigger, Shopify makes that first step simple. So let me ask you, what's the one thing you've always wanted to build but kept putting off? And how different could your year look if you just started now? If 2026 is your year, go to shopify.com/IMO and make your move. This episode of IMO is brought to you in part by Acorns. One of the most valuable pieces of money advice I've ever gotten is that financial wellness isn't about how much you make. It's about making the most of what you have. That's something I've carried with me from my time on Wall Street to today. And that's why I love Acorns. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns recommends a diversified portfolio that can help you weather all the market's ups and downs. You just need to stick with it. And Acorns makes that easy. Acorns automatically invest your money, giving it a chance to grow with time. The best advice I've gotten was from my father, and that was to pay yourself first. So sign up now and join over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested $25 billion with Acorns. Plus, Acorns will boost your new account with a $20 bonus investment. Offer only available at acorns.com/IMO. That's acorns.com/IMO to get your $20 bonus investment today. From Acorns, mighty oaks do grow. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. Acorns makes it easy to invest for your future, plan for tomorrow, and spend smarter today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors/LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/IMO.
Here at IMO, we also like to take a listener question to give our humble opinions on. And the one we have here is particularly ripe for that sibling dynamic we've been talking about.
Hello, Michelle and Craig. I'd love your advice. I want to build a better relationship with my younger sister, but we're 27 years apart in age. She's 10, and I have a 6-year-old who is one of her best friends. I feel lucky that I grew up with my older brother. We had that typical sibling relationship, and he's been the one constant presence in my life. I want my sister to have that same sense of connection, but it's harder for her because everyone around her is older, and those who are closer in age to her are really her nieces and nephews. We're also very different. When I was her age, I was more of a tomboy looking up to my brother, while she's girly, loves makeup, and is already on social media. The tricky part is my dad and stepmom are older, so they don't really know how to set limits. For example, they let her join TikTok with no parental controls, and it's hard to even explain those things to them. Sometimes my brother and I try to guide them, but I don't want to cross the line into parenting her myself. So my question is, how do I build a stronger sister relationship with her while still respecting boundaries and not slipping into that parent role?
27 years. Well, that's...
Well, Helen,
Yes.
I think that ship has sailed. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, 27 years. That I think that the best you can do is remember that relationship and those things between her and her brother, that those sibling things, and try to encourage that with her son and her sister, because they're 4 years apart. So they actually are more like siblings. I just don't think that you should be trying to be the sister. You are the big sister, but you are in so many, and Craig and I can attest to this. In a lot of ways, even when you are the eldest, you do have some moments where you are kind of like not the parent, but you're making the decision for both of y'all, you know? And so I just don't know that it's actually possible to try to not feel that bit of parental responsibility with a sibling that's 27 years younger.
But you can try. You can try.
You can be sympathetic to it.
You can be sympathetic, but what are those things? She said 10 years old? She said 10?
I think she's 10.
She's 10.
So
On TikTok.
27 years of her. Yeah. So, I was going to say what those things that a 10 or 11-year-old are into or might want to do and experience, how you can experience that with them in more of a sisterly fashion opposed to a motherly fashion.
I think maybe also a conversation with her parents or their parents.
It really is.
is necessary, because she's being 37 sounds like, from what Helen said, is that she's much more aware of the dangers of being exposed online
in a way that an older set of parents may not know.
Don't think of yourself as a sister. Don't think of yourself as a mother. Think of yourself more as the auntie. That middle ground. Because the auntie-ism, the auntie helps.
What do y'all think?
Well, I was going to have you start because you actually have kids with a pretty broad age range.
Yeah, but it's
I know, but
it's
still
16 and
30.
Yeah, well, so it's 13 and 30. 32. My oldest to my youngest.
Your youngest, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
but
you're in it.
Yeah, I'm in it. But
you're the old parents.
The interesting thing with my kids are my younger kids have always viewed their older siblings as siblings. Even though they were 16-ish years older, they've always viewed them as siblings. Even now as adults, they are siblings. They treat each other like siblings, and it's a real cool dynamic. So the older ones never had to sort of be the parents because we were the parents.
Yeah.
So they could take on that sibling role. So
Right.
and believe me, I have used the older kids to get certain messages across to the younger kids.
Love that.
Because as you all know, it you get tired of hearing the same voice over and over again.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, they're tired of hearing us over and over again. So every now and then we'll be like, hey, talk to your little brothers.
Same message, change the voice.
Just change the voice.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it can be more effective.
So did your kids spend time in the house together?
So our daughter, who is 29, was in high school, was just going into high school when our two younger ones were born. So they spent some
Time.
Now the older one had gone away to prep school and then to college. So he didn't spend much time in the house with them, but our daughter did. And as a result, those two always viewed her as the conquering hero of the family.
Right.
It's been really interesting. And she was a basketball player. So
Well, so was Avery, too.
Avery was too, but they never got to see him play.
Right.
So,
but they had those common interests,
they had common
which
interests.
Helen is saying
They
that
don't.
They don't have. She has no connection other than
never
blood.
lived together.
Other than blood,
Never.
Yeah. So it just feels hard. It feels forced. That's the word I think I was going to write down. You don't want it to feel forced because it won't work for either one, especially the 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this is where, the typical family construct, the titles, the names, they don't apply, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So biologically, yes, you were sisters. But I think Helen would be helped if she thought about the village, right? And that she is a part of the village. And what does it matter what you're called? You're a part of the village, right? Because it takes a village. And, in our family, we had aunts and uncles that were 10 years older than us, right? They were the younger siblings of our father. And they are 10, 12 years older than us. They felt like brothers and sisters when we were younger, right? It didn't really matter what the title was. It's the thinking about everybody circling as a village to support the kid, right? And that the relationship has to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Like you're right. The ship has sailed on a sisterly relationship between a 37-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Right.
You've had different experiences, different, you're not sitting and coloring. You're not, and that's okay.
I do feel like one of the things that's really cool in Helen's situation is that she has a 6-year-old. And, I'm guessing we didn't get the breakdown of their entire family dynamic, but it sounds like the 10-year-old is the last child of the parents. And
we don't know whether it's a step parent,
of a step
whether they're
or
staying,
what that is.
Right.
But as a 6-year-old to have a 10-year-old aunt.
But it's kind of cool because that is like his sister. You know what I mean? And I think that there's a blessing in that, in having, and especially, being a girl, you like being the big sister, giving her opportunities to feel like she's not the baby. She's the, I don't know. Again, I don't know their dynamic.
I think that makes sense. It's like, thinking about things like instead of her, Helen trying to force the relationship, it's like, what ways can you integrate your younger sister into your life that makes sense? That isn't, because you can't come in with a place of, I'm going to tell you about yourself. Like you can't come in as the parent, right? And so that should free Helen up to be like, well, maybe I'll just be someone in her life that she knows and trusts.
Right.
True.
If she's thinking along those lines, that takes the burden off of, let me fix this. If she can just get to the place where her little sister enjoys her, right?
Whatever you're focused on right now, work, family, big goals, there's never a perfect time to feel your best. There's just right now. AG1 has honestly been the easiest, most impactful habit I've added this year. Real sustainable health isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. And AG1 keeps it simple. Multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, antioxidants, all in one scoop. And AG1 is the opposite of complicated. 1 scoop, 8 ounces of water, about 20 seconds. I drink mine first thing in the morning before coffee, before the phone. It's become this little micro habit that sets up the whole day. And the new Next Gen formula has more vitamins and minerals than ever, clinically proven to help fill common nutrient gaps. I use this every single day, and you should too. They've got original, citrus, berry, and tropical. And I'm an original and citrus guy myself. AG1 has over 50,000 verified 5-star reviews and comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Go to drinkag1.com/IMO to get their best offer. For a limited time only, get a free AG1 duffel bag and a free AG1 welcome kit with your first subscription order. Only while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/IMO, drinkag1.com/IMO. All right, so here's what I'm hearing from the three of you for Helen. Ship has sailed. That's definite. We all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But drop the labels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And be present. But don't parent.
Love that.
Okay, little
You
Mr.
buttoned that up.
Summarization.
I mean,
all right.
I'm getting good at
that's
this.
the best one.
Organized.
That is the best.
Is that
Everyone,
who
we
he
should
is?
give a round of applause.
Yeah.
Fred Robinson's
Now I am.
summation.
Yeah.
No, so one more thing, because we wanted to talk about me and you.
Yeah. So
And-
special on so many different levels.
Yes. And so in preparation to talk about me and you, I went online to order myself some orange wine. And the bad news is it was sold out. But the good news is it was sold out.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
But we were able to track something down.
We're going to do our own.
Oh.
Me and you.
We
taste
got
you got
some-
test.
Look what
the
we got.
The Syrah.
We got the Syrah. We got the Syrah.
And this is at the
So
end
I
of our
wanna
day,
hear-
so I might just.
This is this is a new strategy. So this is we have never had wine on
Thank
IMO.
you.
wow.
So I want you to tell us about me and you, and then we will toast.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. First of all,
We got tissue right here, Mama.
yes,
And
you
there's
see, I'm
some right
trying
next to
That's
you.
Yeah, but I
okay.
say
We
we
had
keep
IMO
them
because I'm going to be
close.
crying too. Yeah.
I mean, this, I've never gotten a chance to say, I want to say publicly to Malia and Sasha for being great friends of
Yeah.
Ian's. You know, we didn't even know
We didn't. We didn't
You didn't
know.
know they were friends.
No,
Mhm.
and you
That's
know,
what Mish
Ian's
said.
cooking dinner, and
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
telling me he's cooking dinner from
Yeah.
Sasha. I think first it was,
Yep.
and so I'm just thinking it's
Some girl
some
named
girl
Sasha.
named Sasha.
Which
that
it
that
was.
his friend
It
is
actually was.
Some girl named
that his
Sasha.
friend is dating, and so this feels like it's
This
beautiful to
is-
be able to be sharing a bottle of Ian's wine with you all and my sister. This came from just trying to find ways to. You hear people talk about what their kids are doing, and you know, and our memories kind of stopped for a bit.
Mhm.
And so trying to find ways to create new memories with Ian. And Ian would introduce me to so many things. And one thing, and Malia and Sasha will tell you this, when Ian discovers something, he wants to share it and he wants to tell you all about it, you know, with just everything. And you may not even like it, but you be like, you know what,
I wanna try
maybe
it.
this might be something here. Yeah. And it kind of came to me that, Ian, we're gonna make a wine. And so this journey started from him introducing me to orange wine. I remember the moment at a restaurant called Kismet. How about that? And it, you know, to shorten the story, we came up with this label from, I was going through one of his journals and trying to find just trying to find little messages from him,
Mhm.
and saw this little M that he had drawn real small. And I was like, that M, it should be the M from me and you. And so that M is the beginning of that. So I had an artist who is an amazing artist who created the album covers for Fleetwood Mac, the Thriller album cover. So I know that was Ian. Like,
Yeah.
look who's doing my life. Boom. And he created a font from Ian's M. And so that's how we landed there, because Ian is an artist and all different modalities. And so it felt like I wanted it to be a canvas. And that's how we came up with the brushstroke and splatters, because a lot of his artwork has splatters. He'd like to do that on his art. And so I said I was going to make a long story short.
No.
but
No,
I,
take your time. This is wonderful.
Make a long story long.
I'll make a long story longer.
It's worthy of, it should be a long story.
Yeah. And the orange wine sold out. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I knew that, okay, well, we need to continue on. And how do you continue in this social space, knowing that we're gonna make more wine, but it takes time. Wine takes
Sure.
time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You can't rush those grapes.
You can't rush those grapes. That's the beauty of wine. And so I came across this Syrah. I tasted the Syrah. My winemaker let me taste it, and I tasted it for the first time with Reina. And I was kind of concerned, like, people know this brand so far with the orange wine. We still haven't reached everyone. But this Syrah is really beautiful. And Reina was like, my nephew would want this.
Yeah.
And so we ended up doing a holiday release. And it kind of serves as a way for us to have Ian as a embodiment of some ways of all of those joyous things about Ian during the holidays. So it felt appropriate for the Syrah to come out during the holidays.
Malia and Sasha met Ian at sort of the beginning of their lives here in LA. And it's a scary time for a mother to send your kids off. I was grateful that they were living together.
Mm-hmm.
But when your children are in a new place is when they have community, and our girls are good community builders, but you don't know. I mean, they're who they are, and it's LA, and who are these people? And your son, your nephew, was that first bright light of connection for them here. They spoke to us so glowingly about all the things that that are special about him. His creative mind, his openness, the way he makes people feel special and seen. I think we talked briefly at the CAA conference, but we were in the middle of a thing, and I just wanted to, tell you that his spirit is here with us. I know you all feel it. We feel it. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I feel like I'm meeting him all the time.
Yeah.
And I just am grateful to you for raising a young man that provided that space for my girls.
Thank you.
And we are honored to
Love that.
to toast to Ian,
to Ian,
to community,
and I'm
to
gonna come over there.
sisterhood, to brotherhood. This has been a beautiful conversation. You guys,
Thank you both.
you are
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
And everybody,
Thank you, really.
me and you.
Me
Let's
and
say
you.
we'll let you let us hold on. We'll let you know.
IMO to me and you.
This is
Oh,
I love a red.
wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys.
for being
Yeah.
to talk
here.
to you guys. The whole
Yeah,
siblings
well,
and
we,
the
you know, I
siblings.
mean, we're building family here.
Yeah.
So it's like, we just gonna keep crossing paths.
Yeah.
We are intertwined.
Trying.
Yes.
I mean, we our paths were crossing before we even knew that they were.
That's right.
With the things, the spirits that are the most near and dear to us, were connecting us.